There's some frightening levels of pain, actually, and I would only assume. I mean, what could I assume? The thing I'm watching, maybe. Eva Longoria, who's the actress. She, she's one of the. I wish more, you know, actors and like that would speak up about stuff. She's given. I think this is the full show. An interview about the situation for Latino immigrants, but also for underprivileged people who are Latino in our country, and also differences in a lack of access to education. I assume she's going to mention the Dream Act at some point, but there's a group where I mean, right off the bat, I mean, right, I mean, it's a shame. Let's talk about people who are citizens, who here or not. The issue isn't their status as citizens, but simply are, much like, all the people who lived in, when I first got here, was in the Mission District, people who are economically disadvantaged, but are, recent immigrants, to our country from Latin America. It really is time in this country that we got over this issue of whenever a group comes to the country wanting a better life, that the generation where they're working hard, but they're economically underprivileged. But the point of the country is equality of opportunity. That is, the next generations can do better and better. The fact that the education system is sort of not, in some sense, a quality education isn't available for those who aren't privileged. Groups who recent wave of immigrants and then their kids. There's no reason why we should have a bad education system. That's the type of person that came to the country for more opportunity, to encounter not just all kinds of prejudice, but an education system that, for people who are being educated in the public education system, the community colleges, is not an education that would lead to more and more opportunity. That's a shame. But I assume at some point she's also going to mention the Dream Act, which is, I mean, this thing, I don't care what the political class and its games and whatever they think they're doing in our Congress, they've got to pass that Dream Act. Picture it. I mean, yeah, young people who are the sons and daughters of immigrants to our country, if people don't have a green card, there's all kinds of reasons. They came here desperate and came over the border. That means you really have to be desperate to do that, and then to actually have kids that are going to high school, maybe getting a scholarship to college, the idea that they would not have a quick path to citizenship when they were born here, they're going to schools, they want to go on to college, some of them could serve, serving in the military, the idea that the Congress wouldn't immediately put in place a path to citizenship for those young people, and the fact that they're even actually in danger of harassment by the INS and deportation. There was a woman who worked as a staffer for one of the Congress women. She's from that younger generation. She made a YouTube video that was so painful to watch. Her mother had been taken away by INS. The fact that that's not the kind of thing, that's something that both political parties could agree on. But it's good that I would love to see more and more people who have celebrity status. Eva Longoria is well known, coming up, because that's who can come on a show like this. It was young people, or people who are immigrants to the country, or young people who want. I mean, the fact that the only option they have is to shout out something to the president, like, please, can you do this by executive order? The fact that they're desperate. A person like this can go on one of our main sort of primetime talk shows and raise awareness to the audience about an issue like that. That can really put pressure on the political class to do something. This should be something that more people who are high profile like that do. Speak out about injustice, happening to people, and the political class really does need to grow up with regard to the kinds of things they use in a game with each other and the kind of things that they say we have a moral imperative to work together to push this through. I don't care. We don't care what the procedural problems and the elections and the parties are about. These are things that affect. These are things that would be a travesty of justice if it didn't. If we didn't put this legislation in. Now they seem to be playing a game with just about everything. I thank God she's speaking out about the conditions for such people. Really, that's what you're trying to tell me, because I am watching this.